Welcome back to another episode of Blue Collar Happy Hour. Today we're joined by a very special guest that is near and dear to our hearts, boss of one of the members of the podcast, Sam Vacinek with Unlimited Masonry. How's it going today, Sam?
It's going good.
Man, welcome to the show, dude. This is the first time you got to sit behind this beautiful desk.
Yeah, this. So for those of you that don't know, or those of you that only listen to the audio, Sam and his crew, other Sam here, Sam Vacinek. How should we refer to that? Is that going to be weird? Sam Vacinek here with Unlimited Masonry.
Confusing with customers all the time.
Oh, I believe that. They built this desk for us, this beautiful custom limestone top desk. And this is just an unbelievable way to portray the work that your guys have done here. Have you ever gotten anyone hitting you up and be like, yeah, I seen that. Seen you guys did that little podcast thing.
A couple times.
Yeah.
I would have definitely thought there'd be more.
Yeah.
People that mentioned
I'm in like a lot of our messages, emails, whatever, and I really thought more people would be like, oh, I saw you, like even when he was the main advertiser, like it just didn't really pan out how I expected.
The thing about brick is it's more of something if you pay attention to it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like you notice other brick shit more than any normal person would notice other brick stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So how long have you been in the brick game, in the masonry game, Sam?
I'm going on my 4th summer as a business owner.
Nice.
And then I did it for probably summer and a half before that.
Oh, okay. So you're like 6 years into the thing.
Roughly, yeah.
Would you say that that's still like relatively new to the thing? Because like it seems like to me, masonry guys, like they're in the game. Like you see a lot of like dialed in masonry guys. They've been in there like 30 years, 40 years.
See, from what I understand with the different masonry guys that we see, because we go to the brickyard all the time, and it's kind of a staring contest, dude. Like you get stared down by these old guys, and you're kind of seeing the switching of hands now. Because a lot of these OGs, they're getting real old. And then there's a couple companies where it's the young bucks like us pulling up. And it's a little bit weird. It's the changing of the guards, you know?
Is there like a generational gap between OG bricklayers and the new school where it's like a certain way of doing things? Or is it still kind of the same techniques? It's just like new guys on the scene.
So I definitely worked for some older guys, and their ways are definitely very smart and some of the best ways they are out there. You should definitely take notes from them.
It is amazing seeing a bricklayer with a lot of experience, because I don't know about other people, but before I was, involved with a masonry company, I had no idea what it took to lay brick. It's not just something you just, I'm going to buy 100 brick, I'm going to put up this little wall. Right. No way in hell. It's going to look like shit. Guarantee you.
Right.
There's definitely some skill into it. And when you see a guy that knows what they're doing, it's impressive. It's cool watching them do their craft.
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of skill that goes into it when it comes down to it. What would you say is one of like the coolest jobs that you've been able to be a part of?
I did an island job out in the middle of Mille Lacs.
Okay. I was there for that one. Yeah. So
this was awesome.
This job was absolutely crazy. So you actually had me film a video for that job, and it's on, if anyone wants to see it, it's on Unlimited Masonry LLC's Facebook page. So go check that out.
That was an awesome job.
It's called what? Spider Island?
Spider Island, yes.
Dude, that was wild. That was such a cool little thing. So for those of you that don't know about Spider Island, I definitely suggest looking it up, because it's like this super small island just made of like rock, and a lot of history there. There used to be a road that went out to it, right?
Something along the lines, I'm not 100% sure, but there was a dam at one point.
Yeah.
And then they took out the dam, so then
it's literally an island.
Now it's an island, and it's pretty crazy.
It's insane.
We were out there for a whole week.
It was
Took
wild.
a pontoon out there.
Yeah, so getting to and from the job site every single day on this pontoon, it was a repair gig, right? Yep. There was a bunch of stuff that got messed up from ice dams, or what was the deal?
So after winter, the ice shifted, and it just kept breaking up the outside of the island.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up by the time we got there.
Retaining wall, a stone wall, what was it?
Retaining wall, and it was like pushed up against their bunkhouse door, so they couldn't even get into their bunkhouse. And
Yeah,
was
that's
a long
crazy.
week.
So when I was out there, I was obviously taking photos and videos for you guys. I remember one of your guys, David, he was just out there chiseling away the entire time that I was out there.
Oh.
On top of that, this was one of those jobs where you have the homeowner just looking over you the entire time.
Worst I've ever
Yes.
seen that
One
type of
of
scenario.
My coolest jobs ever, but one of the worst jobs ever.
Do you ever feel like that's really limiting when in like there's almost too much pressure on you when you have a homeowner that's like helicoptering you the entire time, where they're like making sure you're not doing anything you're not supposed to?
Yes, and the problem with this homeowner was her husband died, so they weren't able to do the work themselves anymore, and they always have repaired these walls themselves.
Oh.
So then they hired me. I was the first company to ever step foot on this island to repair these walls, and this old lady thought she knew how to do everything. It was terrible.
Yeah, I was there.
Dude,
I
went there.
can attest to that.
I went there that one time with you. I was like, yeah, I'm not going back out to that job, man. That's horrible.
So
She was scared of
taking
your
videos.
drone.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I'm taking videos the whole time, and this old lady is just standing there. Do not take any photos of my house. And I'm like,
My son-in-law's a lawyer.
Dude,
I'm like, what is going on? And she's just freaking out. And then our eyes are on me like a hawk. So I made sure to set up any tripods that I had facing away from the house. You know, the drone. I mean, it's inevitable. I'm gonna get the house with the drone. Like, there's no other way to take photos of this retaining wall. You know, do you have that built into your contracts where you're like, hey, we can use photos of this for our advertising material? Yeah, is that a common thing?
After that is when we added it in, basically just stating that any work that we perform, we have the right to use it for advertising, marketing, and it's definitely nice to have in there for certain situations like that. Most of the time, people are always like, oh, of course, you know, put this on your website, post it on Facebook, and it's never been a big deal. But yeah, so this lady, she was a little upset because in the past, somebody with a drone from shore, he took a video of Spider Island, went around, just showed how cool it was, and it got a lot of views, and she was not a fan of that.
Well, she had said, too, that like because of that video, people tried breaking into it because they didn't know about it before or whatever. I mean...
Yeah, so she said there's been a lot of break-ins like on winters, drunk people in fish houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense because then they can get to it without a boat.
Yep.
You can just walk straight to it, whatever. Yeah, that would suck, though, because that's such a nice place.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to go inside?
Yes, super nice.
I wanted to go inside. I never...
Super nice. And so they actually had a fire there. And I'm pretty sure lightning took out, hit the roof or something like that, started the place on fire. They got the whole thing redone, and they kept the original table.
Like a dining room table from it?
Yep. And they got the whole thing refinished, and it's...
So it's just like an old table, the rest is brand new.
Yeah.
That's wild. So like a full refab of the whole inside of the house.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And the whole, like their fireplace inside, completely like huge rocks.
Damn.
Huge rocks from out of the lake just built up.
Well, because like
That's
some of the
badass.
rocks on the shoreline there were like massive boulders, 6-7 feet wide. I could not believe it. And some of those boulders got pushed all the way up onto shore from these ice dams. So like the ice on Mille Lacs is crazy. Constantly moving and pushing
Dude,
shit up.
Mille Lacs itself is crazy. Like when we were taking the pontoon back and forth, those waves, this pontoon was not made for what it was doing. It was sketchy as fuck.
So I got this pontoon from girlfriend's dad. He roofed that same cabin like 10, 12 years prior, and he built this pontoon to get the shingles out to the island. And he told me, I got a pontoon perfect for the job. From when I did
this was an old school pontoon, no rails. It was
Just
baller.
basically a platform with a motor on it.
Yeah, and the motor didn't run no more, so I threw a motor on it real quick, and we went out there for a whole week, and that was crazy, some of those waves. And if we wanted to get the job done, and you stay out there a little too long with some of these storms coming in, insane.
Yeah.
One of the last days I tried to go out there to grab some tools, and I was in my little 14-foot boat, fishing boat, and I thought I was just going to cruise on out there, and it was right before a storm, and these waves were so crazy. I couldn't do it.
Dude, I've been on some pretty big boats on Mille Lacs, and it still gets sketchy as fuck.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't have the right boats, but we got the job done in a week.
It was an awesome job. I
definitely would want a bigger boat if I did it again.
For sure.
But it's not like I do that every day.
Yeah, but that's such a cool thing, especially because you guys are still obviously relatively new as a company, to have something like that in the portfolio where people are like, oh, wow, okay, you've worked on some cool custom stuff.
And to have you make that video to go along with it
at the same time, that was the timing couldn't have been perfect because I had that time free. That was a good job to have in the portfolio. You got good pictures of it, good video of it. It worked out great.
That first shot of the drone just coming up to it just sets the whole tone for the video.
With the pontoon, you see us on the pontoon.
It's so badass.
I was a little scared I was going to drop my drone in the water. Right before I did that job is when I got insurance for my drone. And I was like, if this goes in the water, I don't want to have to be like, oh shit, there goes like a big chunk of money, because you're not getting that back.
Yeah,
most of the time,
definitely not in Mille Lacs.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever. Well, let's dial it back here then. How did you get your start? What was the first thing that made you want to get into masonry?
So I worked for a couple different companies. I really enjoyed it. Doing a lot of brick repair, a lot of chimney repair, tuck pointing, stuff like that, all residential. I really enjoyed the new job site every single day.
I think that's what's a really cool part about that.
So you're busting through jobs so fast in the masonry world that you're doing a different job every day, or
sometimes 5-6 in a week.
Oh, no kidding.
So it just depends on the job, really.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. I just assumed like some jobs you're on there for 2 weeks or whatever.
So if we got a stone job, we might be there for a week, or if we got a chimney, depending if it's a full rebuild, we might be there for a week, or if it's just the top 4 courses need rebuild and a new crown and some new flues up top and rain cap. We're there for half a day, not even.
Those are the best days.
Damn. Yeah,
chimneys,
I believe it.
Chimneys are the best, dude. Everybody loves chimneys.
Everyone's
get to go up on the scaff after you get all the demo done. It's just chill for the whole day. You watch the bricklayer lay. Everyone's hanging out.
Yeah. Nice. So once you get everything set up for the chimneys and all the prep work done, the laborers, as long as they have mud and brick to the bricklayer, they're
just chilling.
They're just chilling.
It is one of those jobs where, like, they always say, like, oh, there's something you could do. There's no need to ever be on your phone.
Clean the trailer.
That's definitely one. If the trailer's clean, there really isn't anything you can do. Like, laborers love chimneys more than anybody.
Oh, I suppose, because they're like, once the stuff's in the place, I'm good to go.
Well, because if we pull out a concrete job, they're going to work. I don't know how many times I saw their spirit broken when we told them there was concrete for the day.
Oh, really? Like what? Like sidewalks, or like what kind of concrete?
Maybe if we did a sidewalk, if we did a driveway.
We did a patio last year that, like, I'm a smaller company and concrete's newer to my business, and we mainly do brick, block, stone.
Yep.
And did a patio last year, and I had a couple wheelbarrows and 7 yards of concrete going up the steep driveway, and my boys fucking hated me.
You should have seen Bean Boy, dude.
They fucking hated me.
Oh, dude, Bean Boy was about to cry.
Really?
He was dying, dude.
Just because of how much work he was doing?
Well, so we couldn't, we couldn't get the truck all the way back to the patio, so everything had to be wheelbarrow fed.
It was a tar driveway,
And
so
it was-
we had to stay out on the road.
It was a pretty big patio for having to wheelbarrow it like that. Like I felt for the boys. It was tough. And Will kept his ground, but I thought he was gonna break. Shout out Bean Boy.
Bean Boy just, he's a small frame guy, but he's got a lot of muscle. He's stronger than people think.
You should see him climb up the scaff, bro.
Is he
He's
just like
he's
a
a little
monkey?
dude. It's
A little monkey.
It's insane.
Just shimmying up.
That's one thing is I realized right away is seeing people's scaffolding climbing up and down skills. Like Sam, he's got his little tactics that he does. He's up and down in no time. Will, he does it a completely different way. He's up even quicker. And then you'll get somebody, we had a couple employees. It takes them a little bit to get up and down. Personally,
Which is
that's
totally
not my
fine.
thing.
Fine.
I definitely don't rip
I'd rather
scaff.
not have somebody fall off.
Exactly. Well, and that comes down to it too. When it comes to safety precautions, like what do you guys do to like limit, I guess, bad things happening when it comes to the safety?
One of the biggest things is the silica dust.
Oh yeah, I just was reading a thing about this. That's huge.
Yeah.
That
People are
shit'll
getting,
kill
like,
you.
What kind of stuff are you putting in place to make sure that you guys aren't breathing in this shit?
Well, they all have their respirators, and see, once I was on board, I was kind of that safety Nazi because I came from a very corporate company,
Right.
and I would, there's always the tough guy that's like, I ain't wearing no mask.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that mask on for nothing. I don't care how much you pay me, but dude, it's inevitable. It's like smoking cigarettes.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, your body is a utility in this line of work. The longer that you can keep your body going, the more money you can make doing it. It realistically is what it comes down to. And I've heard someone explain it like you wouldn't run, Coca-Cola through the gas tank of your car if you drive for work.
Yeah.
So why would you be breathing in this shit willingly all day long? Like put on the
100%.
freaking respirator.
I'm nowhere in the clear because I never wear a respirator.
Why not? Why don't you ever wear a respirator?
Mainly, I know I'm dumb as hell for it, but basically,
You're more.
I'm
of an
trying to get the
aesthetic guy.
job done.
You don't like the way that it looks on you. You're all about looks on the job site.
No,
Okay.
it's just I'm trying to get the job done. And
Right.
the saw's right there. Mask is in the trailer somewhere.
Dude, I
Somewhere.
have seen this man. Like, let's say we had a wall like this, and we had to grind out all the mortar joints. I've seen him grind for at least a half hour straight, no mask. He comes up, his entire face is white, his entire shirt. We have to grab the leaf blower, blow him off, dude.
Oh my god.
He's fucking.
Why are you doing that?
He's underdoing it,
Why are you
bro.
doing
This
that to
man,
yourself?
this man is breathing in silica dust on the daily. I beg him
job
to put on
done.
a fucking mask, bro. I swear to
Oh
God.
my god.
All the old timers tell me, fucking put that mask on. And I probably will start this summer, but
Ear protection too, dude. That's
Ear
one
I
protection.
didn't even think of that with those saws.
thing. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it gets loud
eye
out there.
protection.
You only get one set. That's
Yeah,
the big.
that's the best thing what Dalton said in his blue collar episode. You only
Dude,
get two
it's
of
so
those.
true.
You only get two of those. Like, dude, lungs. You only get two of those, Sam.
Yep.
You're ruining them fast.
So I kind of want to get into how you got started because for those of you that don't know Sam, before you got started, he was kind of in a weird place where you were working for cash. You didn't really know what you were going to do with your life, and you pretty much, I'll say it, you're a self-made man. You started with literally nothing. Can you explain to us what you pulled up for equipment rolling up to your first job?
Yeah. I was in a lot of debt right out of high school. I got myself in a lot.
What kind of debt?
Just stupid credit card debt and just the stupidest shit I would buy.
I remember the
Just-
day he got the buckle card that ruined his credit.
Oh,
Just stupid shit.
You you just filled up with a bunch of clothes and
yes,
shit?
it was stupid. And then I
Yeah.
just forgot about it and just young and dumb.
Yep.
Now I'm paying for it.
Yep.
But I started with a 2001 Chevy 2500 I bought from my brother for $1,000. I didn't have enough money to pay him right away. He let me pay him back a couple weeks later. I did a chimney for a buddy. He paid me $250 for helping him.
Nice.
And I got my first rammer hammer for tearing down chimneys. And then I got the business started and went to the cities, basically. And
Just packed her up and let her rip.
yeah.
What were you using for a trailer?
Yeah, I used my dad's four-wheeler trailer. I didn't have a trailer yet either, and I rented scaffolding down in the metro, and then I went down to the cities and
You had the truck that you bought from your brother that you weren't even able to pay him completely for. You had your dad's four-wheeler trailer, which was a completely open trailer, and you had the rammer hammer that you had just made enough money for from working for somebody else.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, I need some help. Boys, jump in the truck. We're ripping a job.
Yeah, shout out to Bean Boy.
Bean Boy is an OG of the company, by the
Really?
way.
I did
OG.
not know that.
Yep. He
Bean
was with
Boy.
me. He was with me for a couple years.
Sam made him the man he is today.
Damn, and now he left
He
you
left
and he
last
went into
summer.
the union. Went into the
It's
union.
so
which is
funny, dude. He came.
Very smart of him.
I remember the day. It had to be May, and he's like, "Hey Sam, I just want to give you a summer's notice. I'm gonna be leaving at the end of the year. I just wanted to give you a notice." Like, okay, bro. Thanks for your 7-month notice.
Fucking Bean Boy.
Motherfucker, 2 weeks later tells us he's quitting. We're like, thanks for the notice, man. We appreciated it.
7-month notice. So he left where to go? He's a union job now.
Yeah.
He's a big union man now,
Doing
pouring that crete.
Big Crete guy.
Big crete raker. He does a lot of the raking.
Good for him. Good for him. How
He actually came to a concrete job and helped me out, and he impressed me. He impressed me from when he left and from when he came and helped me out on a concrete job.
So the union turned him into a man.
He picked
The
up a thing or two.
The union might have turned him into a man.
Damn. Good for him.
So to get back into it, you get this truck trailer, you get a couple employees, you rip, you do your first chimney. From that point, what was your plan? How many jobs did you have lined up in the beginning, or was it a day by day thing? Like how did it go for you after that initial job?
So my first summer, I started halfway through the year. So it was just like a fall that I was working before winter hit, and it was a big fall of nothing but chimneys.
Just racking them up.
Yeah, everyone wanted their chimneys fixed. Went all over the metro area.
How did you find your brickyards that you use? That's one thing I've always wondered is
So from the couple years of working for a couple different companies and all that, I kind of picked up what brickyards I liked and what brickyards I didn't.
Where does some of this brick get sourced from? Are these things
All
getting
over.
shipped over the world, depending on what kind of brick and stone it is?
Oh,
or
yeah.
is this
Yeah. But mainly there's a couple throughout the states that are the main suppliers. You're seeing a lot of them shutting down lately.
Yeah. So
with
what's
COVID and
what's
all
like
that.
some of the fool's gold of the brick industry, where it's like you see that and you're like, it looks nice, but we know that's shit.
there's
Sand
a lot
brick.
of that actually.
Sand brick or old Chicago's.
Do you know what old Chicago's are?
No, I don't.
So it's actually kind of cool. You'll see them on a lot of people's houses, especially their older houses. But when they had the Great Chicago Fires, I don't even know if they put "great" in front of it. Maybe that's the wrong word for it. But the really bad Chicago fires,
Yeah.
when they were tearing down the buildings, they put all the brick on semis, moved it across the country, and now you see it all over today.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot
So,
of
like,
times
burnt
you
brick?
don't even lay a new old Chicago. Most of them are
A lot of them have been used
Used.
multiple
Yeah.
times.
So when
Wild.
we repair old Chicago chimneys, basically I got a little stockpile, because brickyards sell them for overpriced. But basically go to my stockpile and grab the best ones out of the stockpile. And
Best part about Old Chicago's too is
what you're rebuilding.
you get the perfect brick match every time, because what a lot of people don't understand is there's a lot of brick companies that they produce brick for a few years, maybe it's even a decade, but they produced those bricks in the 80s. Well, now it's 2023. We're trying to get them a brick match.
And that's
Those bricks haven't existed in 20 years.
one of the biggest challenges every day with our job is, depending on the chimney or the job, going to the brickyard trying. Some days I'm spending a half a day driving all throughout the state trying
Just walking through the brickyards all day.
Picking through their boneyard, picking through this, picking through that.
So now in a scenario like this custom top here for our desk, how do you source a custom top like this?
So this is just through like one of my main brickyards. Just call them up, tell them dimensions, and
they cut it whatever you need.
They got you.
They give you
That's crazy.
week and a half, and they get it in for you.
That's sweet. So now when it comes to like doing custom jobs and custom orders, is there a lot of things where you have to like say, I need these specific dimensions, or can you cut a lot of these to size yourself? Because I know you did a lot of cutting with this, for those of you that can't see on the audio listeners, we have holes cut in this custom desk, so our cords for our microphones and our headsets run right down in through this thing. You cut these holes yourself. I remember you saying. How do you do that?
So that just comes along with depending on the job. Some jobs, if like we did an HOA, where we were repairing all the egress windows.
Yep.
And there was no point in us going to each and every house, finding the exact measurements of what we needed, and that custom limestone, it wouldn't have made any sense paying that money to make all those custom pieces of limestone. So we were able to go with a more standard size in 8-foot pieces, and then cut them down.
Cut to size,
Cut them to size.
You already know you're going to run through the material, so you might as well just make the cuts yourself.
Yeah, because there's 33 houses you don't want to.
I would imagine, does the cost go up pretty significantly when you're calling them to say, like, hey, I need these custom dimensions? Versus just going there and being like, hey, I'll take this.
Yes. Yeah, 100%, dude. Like, limestone itself is already really expensive. Like, if you're getting limestone added, limestone sills, any sort of limestone in your bid, it's definitely going to make it go up. They don't give it away for free, that's for sure.
That's crazy.
But it's also very important to put...
It looks great.
Yeah, I love the look of limestone. I think it's...
smooth.
It is smooth. It's nice water repellent. You know, it's done us pretty good.
It actually has. Yeah, it's done great. I'm surprised with how much the durability of this thing is. I'm very surprised this has held up the test of time. That is the On Tap Studio, because we've put this thing through the ringer.
Oh yeah.
There's been people standing on this thing. I can't tell you how many drinks have been spilt on this thing.
They just soak right in.
Soak right in. Don't even need to wipe it up.
Yeah, so I guess the next thing that I wanted to get into was what is the day in the life of a masonry business owner, Sam Vacinek? How does your day usually go?
This is kind of funny because obviously you know the answer to this already, right?
I know the exact answer.
He's quizzing your ass right now.
Yeah, so in the obviously mainly laid off in the wintertime, don't do much work, but in the summertime I got the alarm clock at 3:30 to 4 o'clock every day. And,
Oof.
I live up by Lake Mille Lacs up north there, and then I got the hour commute to Pine City to pick up the boys in the trailer.
He gets to meet me every morning.
Oof, you drive an hour to come pick up these clowns.
Yep, because I hate Highway 65.
Best part of his day.
I refuse to go on Highway 65, so I cut across to 35 every single day, pick up the boys, depending on the day. And then got the drive to the cities on top of that.
Usually get to sit at the job for a good 20 minutes on our phone. That's my favorite part of the day.
Yeah.
Usually we complain about how the boys are behind.
Yep.
So you show up to the job, obviously you've already been there. You gave them an estimate. You won the job, so you know what's going on. But do you give them the boys a little bit of a game plan on how today is going to go? How do you usually get started?
Yeah, so depending on the day, the boys kind of just know if we're doing stone.
Let's say you're doing a chimney.
Yes, so the boys kind of just know to set up scaffolding first, grab power cords, protect the shingles with canvases, and normally there's one guy in the meantime when all that's getting set up, setting up the mud station, and normally I'm trying to find brick in the meantime. And then
It's usually the issue of the morning.
Yep.
It's usually the biggest thing on the mind.
Depending on the brick, it's getting real hard. A lot of brick companies are shutting down.
Oh, I suppose is that kind of a dying art?
Yeah.
Like the brick companies the brick manufacturers,
unless you're very
or
bougie.
the places that store it.
No, just the brick manufacturers.
Okay.
Like there's two big ones last year that 2 years ago I did full rebuilds on these chimneys, and I can't even get the brick. If a brick was falling on that chimney, I couldn't get the brick to replace that. It's no longer being manufactured.
So how do you handle that? If there's a homeowner that's like, I want you to replace this and do this, and you can't get it, how does that conversation go? You're like, hey,
Sam's very upfront right off the bat about how we will not be able to match this exactly.
And then they'll be happy when we do match it.
He kind of undersells them, like, yeah, it'll look close.
Sam gets mad at me because I'm always telling them how they're not going to be happy with the brick match, probably because I'm always so worried about it, and then they're always happy.
You'd much rather set the expectation as worst case scenario. Yes. And then they know. If it does not match, then they already know. Like you already told them, hey, this is not going to match.
Well, and a lot of people don't know what I already said earlier about how all these brick plants have closed, and so it's not even, we can't even physically get this brick unless it's used or at a brickyard and it's been saved for 10 years. So
right.
So they have no idea. They think we're going to be able to get that exact brick and everything's going to look just like it did when they had it done 20 years ago.
And
why? Oh, go ahead.
And there's a lot of brick that I know isn't in existence anymore, isn't being manufactured anymore. And let's say the customer is no longer using their fireplace no more, and they want it tore out all the way down their basement all the way through. I will make the boys save every single brick all the way down, and we'll be stacking those up on pallets, and then we'll use that for small chimney repairs or small garage pier repairs.
You're a huge recycling guy.
Yeah, so I got two different little yards where I got just pallets of brick and stone.
You got your own brickyard.
Yeah.
Damn, that's kind of cool. And that's nice to be able to reuse some of this stuff too, because it would just normally be getting thrown away, right?
Oh, dude, it's the best because, we get this job where we know the brick is not going to be made. We're going to have to go find a match. But then we remember there's a few in the yard, and it's like, fuck yeah, we're going to get the perfect brick match. We're definitely going to win this job.
It cuts the having to go to the brickyard in the morning, so then I can help set up.
Well, not only that too, like the cost. Like people don't understand these costs of being a business owner that go along with it. Like not only are you paying for the brick to do the job, the materials, but you're paying people. You got payroll tax. You got
workman's comp.
just tax in general. I mean, there goes half of everything you're making anyways.
Seriously.
So why do you think that all these brickyards are shutting down? Is it just less common? Are people just using cheaper building alternatives now instead of brick, or what's the deal with that?
Probably, yes. And I think, I heard a rumor at the brickyard. One of the guys was like, they probably just cut their losses before it was losses.
Oh,
They
Well,
they
thing
got
with
ahead.
brick,
They got out before they started taking losses.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too. There's got to be a lot of overhead for places like that because you got to have all the area. I mean, just the area alone that I imagine some of these places are. Some of these places got to be massive. Give me an idea of how big some of these brickyards are.
Twin City Brick.
Yep.
Down in Savage.
Massive.
That place is massive.
Like, give me like a size, like a couple acres worth of brick, or what would you say?
The biggest, I would say
4 football fields wide.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, so it's
literally
huge.
that big. And it's just
they got 4
full
or 5
of mixed
forklift
shit.
drivers loading up. They got 4 or 5 salesmen.
Much bigger than a Menards yard.
Dang. Okay. That really
Great
puts it in
people.
perspective.
And then there's
I
also
thought it was
very
big.
small ones.
Okay.
My favorite, Minnesota Masonry in Osseo. They
definitely hook us
2
up.
salesmen, 1 forklift driver, if they got a forklift driver that day.
Oh, okay. So like a little mom and pop operation.
Yep. Maybe half a football field.
Okay.
You got 3 trucks loading up. It's a shit show.
So we do stonework, we do concrete, we do block, we do brick. What is your favorite type of job to do? Like, I'm not talking about any money making, anything like that. Like, what do you enjoy laying the most?
I really enjoy brick repair on chimneys. Fireplaces are fun in the wintertime. Mainly stone on the fireplaces, though.
I do feel like you love laying stone.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also the best when you're done, when you walk away and you look at it, like it's just so impressive. Stone itself is
The
so much
end
cooler
result
than
is
brick.
It looks
amazing.
the best. It looks the best.
I think that's
for
part of
sure.
the reason why these brickyards are closing. I feel like stone's kind of taken over what brick used to be. I don't think many people are going with it.
There's a lot of people. All new construction is either the thin veneer manufactured or natural stone, mainly manufactured stone, or thin brick. No one's pouring footers anymore.
Well, it's so expensive too to do brick. Like to do new construction brick, you can't just put that up with pocket change. Even brick repair itself.
Right. That makes total sense. So now, what is the biggest expense on the job site material wise? Is it just the brick itself? Or does your mortar
Labor.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
as the numbers guy of the team, I would definitely say labor is
Labor.
what kicks our ass.
Really?
I mean, the thing about masonry and what we do is a lot of it is the knowledge and just having the balls to do it.
Do you guys have some sort of a calculation or like a spreadsheet that you plug numbers into to determine how many guys you're going to have on a job?
I wouldn't say that there's anything official, but we definitely talk about it in depth.
You eyeball it, okay,
there's
this should take this amount of time.
Yeah, and there's some days where I know the guys are going to be able to handle this tuck pointing job. It's a 2-day long job or something. They're going to be there all day, grinding all day long. So then I know I'm able to sneak away and go do a little chimney repair that I don't need no scaffolding.
Right.
I'm in the middle of the roof. I've done that plenty of times. But for the most part, we're together.
Yeah,
on
I
most
suppose. And you
jobs.
guys run a pretty small crew anyways.
Yep.
The cool part
Yeah.
about you guys, in the position that you're in right now with Unlimited, is a lot of your workers are buddies. Is that ever a weird dynamic, hiring, firing, any problems
For
that come
sure.
up? Because
Yes.
it's we're not only employees, but we're also friends.
Even after having a hard day at work where, I think there was a lot of times this summer where I was with Sam at all moments of the day. So I knew what he was going through. I knew certain bills, what time he got up in the morning. And, if we had a long day, not only is it kicking his ass and he's getting frustrated, but so are the other, the boys. They're getting frustrated themselves. And then there's tension between friends. It's Friday night. We go to the bar. There's weird tension. It definitely causes issues. It makes for some weird situations every once in a while.
I believe that. Yeah, for sure.
But it also makes for some of the funnest days I've ever had working, where I'm like,
Right.
wow, I can't believe this is our job.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like all your buddies. You're
It's
basically
awesome.
hanging out.
It's awesome
bullshitting.
being able to work with buddies.
Like-
But there's definitely
Yeah.
some bad days where they think I absolutely hate them, and
They're definitely, if you're going to work with friends, and especially if you're the owner, the boss, communication is everything.
communication.
You
Me
have
and
to.
Sam have really good communication, and we made that clear from the start, like, because he sees it.
Well,
I have issues with that all the time with laborers like that,
where he'll be frustrated
and I just
because somebody's not maybe doing what they're supposed to, or someone's slacking off, someone's having a long day, whatever. He'll get frustrated, but then because they're friends, it's awkward to be like, hey, get it going, man. You know, pick up.
But then
the
I've had
pace.
other
Right.
guys working for me, off Indeed and shit. And it's just like, fucking get to work, dude.
Get your ass moving, son.
Fuck. I'm paying you how much money? Fucking get moving.
Sometimes you gotta
Dude,
kick these guys
it's
into
fun.
gear.
It's fun seeing the boss come out of
Because they
come out
don't
of
realize
Yeah.
they don't realize the money. You got 4 or 5 guys working on this job site. That's hundreds of dollars
An hour. And if they're
They
not
don't
doing
realize
anything,
that.
you're just watching the money go out of your bank account. You're like, oh my God. That's all I would be able
Sam
to think
sees
about.
it all the time. He's like, get the fuck to
Yeah.
work.
We had a little bit of an issue last year with lunches.
Oh,
the boys.
really?
So Sam he gives free lunches. Like he'll pay you for a half hour lunch. But the thing is, the boys would be like, yeah, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings for lunch. Next thing you
Obviously,
know,
that's
it's
not
an
a half
hour
hour.
and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That we're waiting for them to come back. They're getting paid for the whole time. So we fixed that issue. We got a time clock now. We're getting more
Yeah.
corporate, a little more official. I'm bringing
Yeah,
it
that
to
was a
them.
problem. Because if you add it all up, I'm fine with taking an hour-long lunch. I'm totally fine with it, especially if you're ahead of schedule, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times, you wouldn't be ahead of schedule and you're taking Buffalo Wild Wings lunch. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Right. No, I totally understand that. Well, shoot, Sam, thanks for coming on, man. That's kind of all we have time for. Is there anything you want to give a shout out to here on the pod?
Yeah, I would love to.
Other
So here's
Sam?
the deal. Springtime's coming, summertime's coming. I'm sure you have your repairs that you're just dying to get done. If you need any stonework, any block work, any brick repair, any tuck pointing chimney repair,
we
new
go.
brick,
Whew.
go look at our
Residential,
website. Go check out our gallery. We actually just
Unlimited
updated it.
Masonry,
And that's a
LLC.com.
very nice website, might I
Yeah,
add.
Cody.
Shout out Cody. Go follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Check out our TikTok. Sam's been putting out some great TikToks lately. So
Boom. Hell yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, dude. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Thanks for having me